But Green Zero still does have a chance, as we are on Tournament Stadium, another custom map by Predator, and this time Green Zero is going to be the green GDI, and he is going to be on the top, in the top left side, and his opponent once again is going to be in the bottom right side. Well, let's go ahead and hold steady there, as my mouse does freak out sometimes. But it is, of course, going to be TiberianFuture once again. Oh, actually, no, not once again. He's going to be going for the stasis chamber quickly this time, which means we could be seeing, yep, is it going to be actually 4 or 5 disintegrators? He's Traveler 59 in purple, but you already know that. He's playing the exact same thing. He's not changing it up. It is the 4. Is he going to be adding on a 5th? Yeah, he is going to be adding on a 5th disintegrator, following it up with those advanced articulators. No, he's actually adding on 6th, so I think he's going for 3 attack squads, or 2 attack squads of 3 disintegrators. However, Tiberium Tournament Stadium, I mean, there's a lot of Tiberium on this map, and it is a stadium, but it is not a Tiberium stadium. And my gosh, those buildings are absolutely ridiculous. However, at this point, Green Zero knows exactly what is coming his way. Those disintegrators have been spotted. Technically, there are 3 squads still there, but they're basically only 2 squads. Now, where are the other ones? As these darn mini-maps. However, what is going to be the follow-up? Fairly standard for TiberianFuture. However, there is the Watchtower. Green Zero reacting exactly as he needs to. Going to be getting an APC as well. Unfortunately, no Rifleman squads just yet. He could sell off the Watchtower and go for an additional Rifleman squad. Wouldn't be a bad idea. However, where are the disintegrators? They're just now going to be hitting the base. And really, for this to be super effective against a player like Green Zero, you have to snipe at minimum one of these harvesters. Green Zero holding this off quite well. And of course, he can sell off those Watchtowers absolutely no problem and reclaim half of their value. You cannot sell off the disintegrators. You can snipe buildings and snipe whatever you like. As the 2 Tiberium spikes on this map, I think there's only 2. However, unless they ended up changing the map. Yeah, actually, wait a second. Didn't the Tiberium spikes used to be there? This map has gone through several different versions. I'm not exactly sure which version is this, but Green Zero might be able to catch some of these disintegrators. He is going to be giving chase with his APC, as there is the power plant going to be able to block off this Watchtower a little bit here. However, the Watchtower is still going to be on the back line of things. Green Zero going to be, of course, he's just standard GDI, which means his harvesters all do have little machine guns as well, but they are not going to be able to contend with the disintegrators. The APC going to be getting a good flank here, and this attack getting completely shut down there. Green Zero going to be getting repairs on that harvester as well. The follow-up isn't too spectacular, and this is going to be putting TiberianFuture a little bit behind. It will be offset by the fact that he did snipe down the Tiberium spike of Green Zero while still maintaining to hold on to his own. But Green Zero's follow-up is going to be of paramount importance to this. How is he going to transition out of this? Is he going to be going for a lot of APCs? It looks like it will be, and there is going to be AP ammo on the way already for Green Zero. He's not going for Orcas just yet. No, he is going for Orcas just yet, as, or I guess it could be Hammerheads if he really wanted to, but he is going to be going for APC Orcas. No, it is going to be Hammerheads dropping down that wood, or no, I guess he could be following up with more APCs and then throwing infantry inside of them. However, it should be Orcas out of this, as Orca APC going to be a powerful combo. AP ammo may actually finish in the time. No, it will not finish. No, never mind. He did not start that nearly early enough for it to finish and be scouted by these buzzer squads. However, when you see this many APCs, you should know that he's going for at least some degree of heavy APC play. The expansion timing relatively similar for both of these players, and both of these Green Zero going to be deciding to go south. Neither one of these players are going to be going for the more aggressive expansions, which are in a little bit more of a direct line there. Of course, the southern one is going to be a little bit safer. It's in a direct line that way, and not in a direct advance line to your opponent. 3 Orcas now done, a 4th added on right there. Green Zero going for APC Orca before they expand, and then going to be adding on that refinery. However, now the AP ammo is done, and there is the engineer inside of that APC completely spotted. But are the Orcas going to be able to get the kills that they need? There's 4, 5, 6 Storm Riders out already, a 7th being added on as well. And so they could catch the Orcas completely unawares, and the Orca's going to be flying right into the Storm Riders. 1 gets sniped down immediately. A 2nd and a 3rd should be following as well. Green Zero has to commit at this point. 3 go down, 4 go down. No rockets fired, no shots fired. Green Zero is going to be extremely upset by that. He is not feeling good at all in this game. However, his engineer could get taken out as well. He may get the spike. He's going to force the MCV to lift off at any rate. And actually, no, he does not have time at this point. He simply doesn't have time to let that engineer out. And what I'm talking about is going to be throwing down any sort of a buzzer hive. He doesn't even do anything, sells off immediately, and then he will have an additional engineer to go ahead and try to go ahead and cap. Oh man, that Tiberium spike will be Green Zero's after all, and suddenly Green Zero's in a tremendous position as he has 1,750 credits suddenly added to his bank account, and he's like, all right, I will take that if you please. Captures that as well, and going to be losing all of the APCs to the Gunwalkers, but he doesn't even care. He's like, you mad, bro? I got your MCV. Now that expansion is going to be so incredibly delayed for TiberianFuture, going to be losing his Storm Riders as well. 3, 4, 5 of them have gone down. 2 do remain. APC going to be heading in here, and TiberianFuture is not going to be happy. He has to long distance harvest as his main base is pretty much completely mined out at this point. The lightning spike going to be doing slow but sure damage to Green Zero's harvesters. However, it will get eliminated there as we do have more pit bulls out for Green Zero. Is he simply going to be going for mass pit bull and orca? Would be a very strong combination. Would not be surprised at all to see him go for those mortars. And, of course, mortars will make his pit bulls quite a bit more effective against buildings. Actually, basically against anything that's... oh, my gosh, those health bars are insane. Against anything that is a little bit slow-moving. However, going for the blue mass harvesters is going to be a good choice. Does he have the drone chip back out? Yes, he does. It's moving back out across the map. However, we do we have more orcas on the map, too? And no, it is going to be Firehawks. So they could actually get some serious hits off. Oh, Green Zero is going to be spotting this drone ship. Does he have the Firehawks heading out across the map? If he catches wind of this, this could be actually a huge, huge deal, as Green Zero going to be taking a little bit of damage down there and up here, I guess, as the Firehawks not going to be able to do anything about this drone platform. While it's in the air, that is. Massive amount of Gunwalkers going to be moving out across the map. Green Zero going to be losing one squad there. Not a huge, huge deal. Just a minor annoyance, as now he will not have eyes near that field to go ahead and be able to spot. He's lost so many harvesters at this point. However, actually going to be losing his buzzer squad there. He wasn't actually able to take down the engineer, I don't think. Or he could have gone for an engineer before the disintegrator squads. Were those the pit bulls? Yeah, the pit bulls going to be attacking. The harvesters might actually get a corruptor kill as well if Green Zero is staying on top of his game. However, the harvester is going to be receiving double repairs here, and the disintegrator is going to be able to chase away these pit bulls. As can they actually snipe down the harvester? Green Zero just not having too much luck in the later half of this game, and there are the Firehawks going to be running away. Do they have Stratofighter? No, they do not, but they will be able to run away from these Gunwalkers as the Sonic Emitter gets thrown down there. Really the only defense Green Zero has against these Gunwalkers. The Lightning Spike going to be going down as well. The Command Post is going down, but really the AP ammo, the upgrade that Green Zero cares about most from that command post is already purchased, and at this point he can just go ahead and start rebuilding that so that he won't lose too much time. As with Storm Riders could be another viable option for TiberianFuture. He could go ahead and get more Storm Riders on the field, and TiberianFuture needs to go ahead and put this harvester back to work, maybe even needs to just transfer it, as I think there goes the extractor. The Firehawks are going to be heading it back out across the map. And these harvesters are pretty much full of that blue Tiberium. Delicious, delicious double income blue Tiberium. As Hammerhead's going to be the unit of choice for Green Zero. He certainly does love his Hammerheads. As did he go ahead and rebuild that or where is the tech? Is somewhere. He has to have the tech somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where it is. Maybe he just was able to get the airfield out in time before the command post actually did go down. Hammerhead's going to be forced to turn around to help deal with these Gunwalkers. Will he be able to focus down well enough? No, he's got 4 Gunwalkers here that are all very low health that he could focus down. There is going to be the command post. He is going to be going for the high health Gunwalker. Unfortunately, he's not focusing as well as he could. He will be able to focus down there, but he will lose an additional Hammerhead, and trading Gunwalkers for Hammerhead is, of course, going to be feeling very good as that Scrin player. 2 Firehawks for 2 of those extractors, though. That is going to be feeling very good for Green Zero, the GDI player, and claiming more kills on with his sonic emitter, which I guess will be worth it if he sells off the sonic emitter. But overall, you don't want to have to drop that money on a sonic emitter only to kill the gunwalkers. You want to be doing more damage with it than that. And I feel like it would be a little bit more useful to just go ahead and kill the squad there that's shooting the harvester rather than just constantly repairing the harvester. The Predator tank will be getting taken out here by these corruptors, although he may be able to force down these corruptors a little bit faster than they can force it down. Nope, Green Zero is going to be dealing with the healing ability of those corruptors. Of course, very good control there by TiberianFuture, just going to be making sure that he doesn't actually lose any units to this very minor Predator tank harass as he masses up the disintegrators on the front line. The Rifleman squad will be saying, phoning home, saying, hey, Green Zero, guess what? You got a ton of damage output heading your way. However, zone heads are going to be doing fabulously against these disintegrators, and we'll have to see how quickly do disintegrators take down the zone troopers. Not all that quickly. What are the zone heads doing? They're not actually zone heads at this point. They're hammerheads. But what are they doing? They're not actually doing the damage output that they need to be doing against those disintegrators. That army could have been smashed a lot quicker by Green Zero if he would have been able to put his hammerheads a little further out. He will be able to snipe down some of these harvesters. The Storm Rider flying right past these hammerheads. Neither one of these players paying enough attention to really be maximizing their units. And do we have the missile upload, not upload at all, but rather going to be going for those missiles on the Firehawks, as that would be a good choice. He didn't actually kill the gravity stabilizer, but there's nothing building from either one of them, so it is okay. He did go for the nerve center, but he will be losing 2 hammerheads. One more volley takes them out right there. Those hammerheads, really the huge damage output of Green Zero's army at this point in the game. Although he does have an additional 4 hammerheads back at home, does he have them all full of zone troopers? I would think so. Yes, he does, which means they're going to be tremendously powerful. Could add on a couple of more hammerheads just for extra damage output. Might actually be able to mix in extra rifleman squads as well. The nerve center being rebuilt on the front line, a little bit more of a vulnerable position. However, 4 zone heads going to be getting constant repairs. 1 Storm Rider does go down. 2 more are at about half health. However, Green Zero going to be constantly harvesting this main field. TiberianFuture is doing the same as well. Does he need both of these refineries here? I'm not entirely sure. I guess he does think that he does. Green Zero going to be heading out 4 of those hammerheads. Will he be able to do any damage? Otherwise, TiberianFuture may simply be able to end this game with that tier 1. Has he really not actually got his... No, wait a second. He doesn't actually have any of his tier 3 up. Having to rebuild the tier 2 did reset that a little bit, but this game has been going on for 13 minutes and still no tier 3 for the sprint player. However, it is going to be the tungsten shell upgrade, and one of the MCVs will be going down for TiberianFuture. Here come the Storm Riders, going to be able to focus down one of the hammerheads very, very quickly. However, that is so much damage output from the tungsten shells. The Storm Riders do not have the damage output to deal with the hammerheads while the slingshots are supporting them. And snipes down one of the harvesters, although an additional hammerhead will be going down there. The Storm Riders just getting eaten up so quickly. Green Zero taking down 2 of those harvesters. Nope, the 3rd one will escape. There was 3 more do transfer to that field. And Green Zero heading out. Slingshots actually getting separated from the hammerheads there. He wants to go back and finish off that drone ship. No, he does not. Yes, he does. Can't quite make up his mind there. He will be able to get the drone platform. Takes it out right there. Needs to go ahead and evac those choppers, which I guess a chopper evac on a chopper would be pretty crazy. Yo, dog, I heard you liked choppers. But a couple of gunwalkers could actually be picked off here by Green Zero, as he is absolutely fantastic at playing that limit of the hammerheads. He plays the limit oh so well, just firing off individual shots there from the hammerheads and then pulling back out of that damage range. Going to be able to snipe down some of these power plants. Wants to go for the upgraded ones if he can, if he dares. And that Tiberium spike still held by Green Zero. Somehow, TiberianFuture didn't actually ever capture it. He did build the engineer, as you can see right there. It will likely just get sniped down if it tries to make a move. However, 2 more slingshots do get taken out there, but the hammerhead is going to be running free as the power is down for TiberianFuture. And TiberianFuture, I think those are the two Corruptors that dealt with that Predator tank, and I think the one Corruptor is still focus firing the other Corruptor to keep it alive. He's like, yo, bro, you're getting a little bit too friendly here. That Predator tank is already dead. You don't have to constantly be healing me like this. We're going to be fine. I mean, I'm already back up at full health. This isn't Iron Man. You can't just absorb more Tiberium and then become supercharged like he can with electricity. That was a stretch of a reference. I could have just made some sort of reference about absorbing Tiberium, much like whatever that ability, the Tiberium conversion ability that some of the screen units do have, but that would have been a bit too direct. More zone heads on the way. Green Zero going to be long distance harvesting. Never mind, not long distance harvesting at all, as he establishes his third base at that expansion. And there is the tech lab getting taken out by Green Zero after only a couple of Mechapedes do show up on the map. Yeah, I think that might have just been that one Mechapede on the map. However, he is going to be going for even more Storm Riders because that is the only thing that he can really do in this situation, I guess. He could go for mass Sim City of defense like Master Leaf did do when Green Zero went for Relentless Hammerheads. But this is game number 3, so Green Zero doesn't want to just give it away for no reason. Wants to make sure that he snipes down the nerve center again, and he does. It'll keep the upgrades off the power plants. It'll keep down any sort of the upgrades on, or any sort of anti-air base defenses. However, finally going to be grabbing that spike after a ridiculously long time of Green Zero having control of it. And TiberianFuture, just as soon as he scrolls off screen of stuff, he forgets about stuff, which I can't say much better for Green Zero in this particular match. He hasn't been controlling quite perfectly either. Does have an elite slingshot there, and actually a couple of elite slingshots, and then a veteran slingshot as well. A couple of Corruptors getting picked off there. That's a nice kill for Green Zero, as neither one of these players has quite as much money as they would like, although they've got plenty of Tiberium. Green Zero going to be locking this field down pretty well, slowly re-harvesting this field, and he's got maybe one harvester over here. It does go ahead and transfer up to the northern field as the Hammerheads come back for additional repairs. A couple of more Hammerheads will be mixed in, 3 in total, I do believe, as the Slingshots head to reinforce this base over here. 3 of the harvesters do go down, and there is nothing currently here, as just now all of the AA shows up at the same time. We'll catch 3 slingshots, I do believe. No, maybe he only did get 2 there, almost did get 3. Instead, he got like 4 harvesters for the trade, many of them completely full of Tiberium, as there is an additional drone ship, and really doesn't want to stop building from this drone ship. Does have his tier 2, working on that tier 3 again, but he's completely out of money despite the fact that he's sitting on a couple of different Tiberium fields. Did he mean to build all of those drone ships? I'm not entirely sure. I guess he just wants to be able to build 3 base defenses at a time. This Mechapede's still on the field, as Green Zero was never able to really deal with it. However, the Hammerhead's going to be swinging into the base. The Storm Riders will completely catch them unawares. These Hammerheads need desperately to turn back to the protection of those slingshots, and suddenly the slingshots are like, oh yes, we are going to be having fun times. And then they're like, oh, why did you leave? We wanted to play and have fun times together. You silly Storm Riders running away. Hammerhead's going to be able to catch one of the drone platforms, and that is a bad situation as a drone platform to be in. 1 AA does get thrown down, 2 does get thrown down. Green Zero, does he actually know that there is, in fact, 3 of the drone ships on the map? I'm not entirely sure, but he does need to go ahead and make sure that he's sniping them down. Goes for the Harvester, gets a free kill there. Might actually be able to focus down that Mechapede, although with the Shard, oh, no, he got it completely clean there. Didn't have to trade any units for it at all. Only 1 disc shot ended up getting fired off there. However, Annihilator Tripods out on the field. They can EMP the Marv, but other than that, they can't do a whole lot. Tier 3 once again down, but it's in a pretty exposed position. Not super exposed as it is protected a little bit there on the front line. Another Harvester being sniped down there. TiberianFuture not babysitting his Harvesters as well as he could. I mean, have them harvest here. Have them harvest over here. Have them harvest in safe locations. Yeah, blue is good, but blue is only good if you can actually harvest it. And harvesting no blue is not as good as harvesting some green. And so that risk was taken by TiberianFuture. Didn't really end up working out. What ended up working out a whole lot better was when Green Zero sniped the Warp Chasm and instead he did lose 3, 4, or maybe even 5 of those hammerheads full of zone troopers. That is not going to be feeling good for Green Zero, but he's got a Marv in the base of TiberianFuture. The MCV is down, no more build radius once these refineries end up going down for Green Zero, or for TiberianFuture. Green Zero going to be able to take that down. And I have a feeling that that TiberianFuture needs to go ahead and just form one final defense that'll pretty much decide who decides who goes on in this game. Will it be a shutout, or will Green Zero preserve one more match? Maybe even heading into the ace matches. Wouldn't that be awesome? But that rarely does ever happen, as most of the time it is just a shutout, an 0-0 or a 0 out, I don't even know. But Juggernaut's on the front line. They could do very, very well against these tripods. It'll come down to possibly 1 or 2 final engagements, depending on how these players end up wanting to play it out. Where is the Marv actually being added into the army? It is, of course, engineers and zone troopers. Why would you do anything else? That's such a fantastic combination. So many rockets heading up to the skies there. Not enough to actually take down any of the Storm Riders, as Storm Riders can tank quite a bit of damage. Mechapede's, of course, going to be taking a lot of damage if the shots are landed for Green Zero. Does he actually? Yes, he does have a fully heroic slingshot there. That damage output is going to be absolutely insane. And the main base is now going to be under siege for TiberianFuture. Does he actually have anything to deal with this? The Annihilator tripods all did pull up to the north side. They're waiting for that Eradicator hexapod, but the tech is going to be going down likely for TiberianFuture. Oddly enough, we haven't seen cultists, and now there's actually a ridiculous amount of damage output for Green Zero. He's going to be able to clean up this base quite quickly. Do we have any more gravity stabilizers on the field? No, not at all, which means no more Storm Riders can be added on after the ones that are already on the field get taken out. Green Zero needs to make sure that he is going to be cleaning up this base. However, TiberianFuture needs to make sure that he gets in close and tight, that he engages perfectly, and that he's able to lock down the high-tech and heavy units of Green Zero with the EMPs from those tripods. That is what it's going to be coming down to, because if Green Zero is able to engage on his terms, he is going to be smashing down his opponent, especially if he does have any of those support powers available. It doesn't look like he has a Space Command uplink, as EMP would be absolutely insane in this upcoming engagement. The Eradicator hexapod going to be cutting and running, as he is going to be saying, hey, I am going to be getting out of here. The Tiberium Spike will likely fall to Green Zero. One Harvester is being sacrificed there. I'm not sure what that's about, as he could have preserved that to just help harvest that green field. And this final engagement for these two players, is I think Green Zero is going to be forcing it down into one final engagement between these two players. We'll have to see what it ends up being, as this one Rifleman squad is like, I got this couple of Annihilator tripods, no big deal, bro. We'll just take them on alone. Green Zero once again going to be sniping down that tech. How many times has the nerve center been taken out in this game? More times than I can count. That's right, it is going to be actually a bigger number than I even know how to imagine. And the game taking a huge hit there, as I'm not exactly sure why, just out of nowhere. But, oh, Green Zero going to be able to snipe down the drone platform. The Zone Head's going to be able to do a tremendous amount of damage and take it out. They might actually be able to snipe down a number of these Corruptors as well. For whatever reason, a huge tank of the frames there. The drone platform going to be getting taken out. The Corruptors will be shock troopers inside of that Eradicator, be able to protect the Corruptors against these hammerheads. I'm not entirely sure Green Zero is actually going to be pulling away here, as let's cut to a quick break. Alright, so that was a little bit of a mistake there by Green Zero, as he was able to, I have no idea what I was actually talking about, but TiberianFuture has been defeated. Wow, that was actually a really good place to have that stop working. I don't know what happened. It just dropped frames like no other. I think my hard drive was just simply having trouble keeping up with that amount of action in the last couple of minutes there. Green Zero, TiberianFuture in this best of 5. Game 3 going to Green Zero. But there is still more games to come. Game number 4 guaranteed. Game number 5 a certain possibility. Green Zero performing very well in that game. TiberianFuture faltering a little bit, but still playing very strong. The games that he has won, It has been a lot of mind control happening, so we'll have to see, is he able to just simply bring it back, finish the series out, and just slap Green Zero down, or is it going to be Green Zero powering through and taking us to an ace match? Let's check out Game 4, which is on tournament decision, and once again, Green Zero has chosen the GDI faction. He is going to be just regular vanilla GDI once again, and it is going to be TiberianFuture as the purple Traveler 59. The matchup hasn't really changed all that much. TiberianFuture going to be going for 2 portals on each side, well, 1 portal on each side, 2 portals total to go ahead and cap those Tiberium spikes. This is, of course, game number 4 of this series, which means it could be the last game, although we could very well be seeing an ace match. Green Zero not playing his best TiberianFuture. I don't know if he is going to be playing his best in this series, simply because I haven't seen very much of him play. However, no, he did go for the slightly longer capture of both of the spikes, especially so because he is going to be Scrin, and Scrin engineers just move oh so slowly. Throwing down that first refinery. Green Zero doing the exact same thing. There's no stasis chamber first or any sort of fast tech like that for either one of these players. Green Zero going to be losing that one squad there. A couple of buzzers taking some damage, able to take one out. Green Zero should be grabbing. Where is that second engineer? It might have been... Nope. Where actually is that second engineer? I guess Green Zero decided to cut costs a little bit. Go with actually no second engineer for that additional spike. Narrowly almost was able to snipe down the engineer of TiberianFuture, which would have been a nice kill, but it was not meant to be. Adding on a second harvester for most likely both of these players, and there is that second ref for Green Zero. A little bit behind there for TiberianFuture, not a huge deal, just a slight delay there. But TiberianFuture, what is his follow-up going to be? Is it going to be simply another power plant and then some sort of just move to the expansion, or is he going to be going for some tech? Almost wouldn't be surprised to see some tech and fast mechas at this point, as that is not quite his staple, but it is fairly common for Scrin factions to do that. And there's the APC. Still no engineer from Green Zero, at least just yet. It is just going to be a scouting APC sent out across the map. The Gunwalker is out. And we do have the Nerve Center going down, and yep, the Tech Center will be the follow-up, most likely adding on a 4th Harvester, may add on a 5th, or may decide to switch over to Seekers. He's got the 2 Tiberium spikes, and he's got the Eco rocking on this field, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to, at this point, cut Harvesters and then add a 5th on in a minute or so once he gets out some Seeker tanks just for that defense. He does have the Gunwalker scouting out across the map, which is, of course, always important. You want to be able to see, are there any incoming attacks? Are there any attacks headed my way? What exactly is my opponent doing? Green Zero adding on a 3rd refinery, which is something that you can do with this large starting field of split decision. And looks like he's going to be going for that 7-3 ratio, a really good ratio. Of course, 5-2 and 7-3 are the pretty much standards for as far as... Oh, gets the kill on the Gunwalker there, so no more scouting or damage output there for TiberianFuture. He will get the full scout off. He'll see the command post going down. Is it going to be Orcas, or is it just going to be for that AP ammo, which begins right there? That Gunwalker slipping up a little bit there. Yeah, but 3 and 7, or yeah, 3 refineries, 7 harvesters, or 5 harvesters, 2 refinery are the ratios for efficiency. That way you don't have harvesters stacking up, and you're going to be able to clear out the fields pretty well. Some players decide just to go with 5 harvesters, 2 refineries on this field, and on this map. Doesn't make a huge difference. That Tech Center is going to be dropping down pretty quickly here as we do start the Orcas for Green Zero, and of course AP ammo on the way. It does take like a minute and a half for that upgrade to finish. It is a pretty long upgrade. It's mass APC once again. We'll have to see if that ends up working out for him. Is it going to be straight into mechas? There's the money scan from Green Zero. That is the exact perfect timing on that scan. He knows exactly what he's looking for, and he wants to see, is the Tech Center there? Yes, it is. Boom, he knows exactly that it is going to be mechas. Possibly getting the shard launchers upgrade as well. I mean, it might as well just as AP ammo hits, so this is an AP ammo timing attack, as Green Zero also not quite setting up his expansion. No, not just yet. Those rifleman squads at the south did deceive me. However, Gunwalkers are going to be getting gunned down by these. Oh, the perfect mine placement there. Great control by Green Zero to throw those mines there. Not as great control by TiberianFuture running right into those mines. The Gunwalkers are going to be focused down appropriately by Green Zero. However, with the Mechapede follow-up, what is it actually going to be doing? Is he going to be going for the harass? The Tech Lab is down, the Tech Center adding on for the Firehawks, not Orcas. Interestingly enough, he did call in the Orca Stripe, the Warp Chasm being thrown down as well. The Mechapede's running into mines again, but TiberianFuture knows that they're there now. He's controlling much better. We'll take out 2 more APCs, able to just snipe down all of the units for Green Zero. Green Zero, unfortunately, losing that battle. However, ooh, it is going to be double Firehawk. Or is it going to be Firehawk and then Hammerheads? It is going to be Zoneheads, adding in a Shatterer as well. It looks like he's going to be moving a couple of Shatterers out, possibly just for defense. He might be able to get some pretty good shots off, as Shatterers may not necessarily kill the Mechapede, but if you get the shots just right, you can do ridiculous splash damage on all of the segments and effectively render the Mechapedes completely useless. Zoneheads getting ready and loaded. The Firehawks streaming across the map, going to be taking down the Tech Center and an upgraded power plant as well, which means he does have that hard points upgrades. And most likely, well, he definitely does have Strato Fighter as well. Going to be actually calling in an Aux Transport for the outpost. He's sending that out to go ahead and lock up an expansion, possibly going to be heading up north, or he might be looking to secure one of these southern fields. We'll have to see. Where is he actually heading with that? And what indeed did he just call in? Another Orca Strike being sent out. 3 Hammerheads is going to be the choice so far. However, we do have an additional warp or gravity stabilizer, and it has been spotted by Green Zero. As you can see, that's what he called the Orca Strike down onto. And of course, airfields in the game do not have very many hit points. Won't be enough to quite take it out, but a single Firehawk could finish it off if Green Zero so decides to use a Firehawk on that. And actually, did he get... No, he did not get the Tech Center before the Mechapede, but there, I don't know what that was. I thought that was the drone ship, but the drone ship is back here. However, that could have been a reproduced drone ship, as many players do like to just go ahead and build a second MCV for the expansion. And I think the expansion for Green Zero did end up getting taken out, although he will be setting up an expansion over here, so I am, in fact, going to be a little bit wrong there. The Eradicator Hexpod heading out, and this Shatterer is going to be like, oh, well, ruh-roh, that's what that is. I guess now he knows that the Shatterer, the Eradicator Hexpod is moving out. No Corruptor support just yet. Tons of Disintegrators going to be the follow-up. There's the Firehawks bombing down the nerve center, or attempting to. They were able to get the gravity stabilizer. They weren't quite able to force down the nerve center, which means AA is still an opportunity. And since the Plasma Disc launchers do have that Shard Launcher upgrade, they will just be doing absolutely ridiculous amounts of damage. The Harvesters absolutely have to run. This one is pretty much guaranteed to die. Green Zero, unfortunately, not paying enough attention to save both of those Harvesters. One of them will be able to make it out alive. And then is he just going to be piling on more Firehawks? This is actually an extremely terrifying army out of TiberianFuture. He's got his bases pretty well covered. He's got pretty solid anti-air, and then on top of that, he's got lots of Disintegrators, which, I mean, if he lets the Eradicator Hexpod just sort of sit around by itself, he could end up taking a huge amount of damage. There is the EMP Control Center captured by Green Zero. The Harvester is going to be sent north to go ahead and try to harvest this field long distance, but is that one? Yeah, that is just one Mechapede there, not quite 2. Sells off one of the airfields and possibly does have a Sonic Emitter queued for when he has to engage, wherever that will be next, if it's Mechapedes at the front, or if it is going to be tons of Harvester deaths. This could actually be spelling demise for Green Zero, as the expansion will be easily secured by TiberianFuture if he actually decided to move his MCV at any point in this game. Zoneheads rocking up. They will be able to take down the Mechapedes. Good focus firing there by Green Zero, going to be able to take down that Mechapede, eliminating pretty much all of the segments and the damage output before actually going for the head itself, meaning only a couple of Harvesters did get taken out there. Green Zero not quite dead just yet, going to be sending out that Surveyor. However, he will be in a great spot if there is actually no expansion ever established for TiberianFuture. I saw all of these units here, and then I automatically assumed that there was already an expansion, but for whatever reason, TiberianFuture is like, I've got this entire corner of the map locked down. Will I expand here very safely and very easily? Nah, that's what the kids do. Although, as I say that, he's packing up his MCV, going to be moving it on out. He's dropped down both gravity stabilizers, or at least 2 of them, and it does get spotted there by Green Zero, which means he knows he's going to have to deal with 8 Storm Riders over the course of the next minutes, going for Juggernauts. Still no cultists on the map just yet. Do we even have the stasis chamber? Yes, we do. It's down here. It's down, but he hasn't actually gotten any cultists just yet. I can't exactly blame him with the presence of the zone heads. 3 of them get eliminated there. Oh, that's rough for Green Zero. This slingshots. Once again, Green Zero is going for that combo. I think he's going to be getting tungsten. Yeah, he's definitely going to be getting tungsten. At this point, railguns just simply wouldn't make any sense. However, the drone ship now going to be setting up that expansion. Green Zero, he does have the Surveyor, and he is going to be setting it up right there. He's going to be going for the northern base, but the reason that most players do, in fact, go for the southern base is if your opponent doesn't, you can simply secure an additional expansion right there. Once again, another rifleman squad being sent in for Green Zero. He's always on top of that scouting. Look at this. He's got eyes on the high ground as well. He's going to be able to do some damage. Will he be able to actually take down the Seeker tanks? Whoa, this Shatter is actually left on that hold fire stance, so he won't be able to do anything. Never mind, as he one-shots those Seeker tanks right there. The EMP, will it actually fire off? Will it actually be used? I think he's had it long enough here to where it should be pretty close to being able to be fired off, maybe even be able to fire it off. Those sonic emitters, hugely effective against taking down those Seeker tanks, surprisingly so, especially with this splash damage. However, a couple of these more harvesters could go down. There's 5 here in total. There's the EMP, a complete miss there by Green Zero, as all he really did there was lock down his own units and make them even more useless. He was trying to hit the Storm Riders with perfect timing. I don't actually know why he did that. He had slingshots relatively close by, and with tungsten, they absolutely do shred those Storm Riders. Could have at least pulled his harvesters away so they wouldn't have just been taking that damage the whole entire time. Seeker tank's going to be on the offensive as well, but he's fired off the EMP, which means that that building is now useless for the next couple of minutes. Oh, then right on top of the Grenadier squads. Unfortunately, he's not Zocom, so he doesn't have EMP grenades. Well, I guess it's fortunately he does have EMP grenades. My mistake. Was that ever a Zocom exclusive upgrade? I feel like it was, but that is why he does have the Grenadier squads. Huh, why did I think that was Zocom exclusive? Quite odd indeed. Disintegrator is going to be sent around to the top side of the map. I guess that TiberianFuture was like, well, if you're going to go ahead and use that EMP, nope, never mind. He turns them all around right there. However, as the zone heads do go ahead and fly up, Green Zero finally going to be able to secure that spike. He didn't do a huge amount of damage. He's backed off for whatever reason. I think he thought he was closer to some anti-air, but he really does have quite a bit of range. There's an anti-air down here, an anti-air up there. There's no actual anti-air for hit to take down the hammerheads. He definitely could have done more damage there, and this is a very dangerous point for Green Zero, because if the economy ends up getting established, and if TiberianFuture is able to harvest all of this Tiberium uncontested and then put all of that money into an army, he could be looking at a pretty terrifying army showing up. Oh, the slingshot's moving out. They could get taken out. No, they're not going to be heading over here. Good control there by Green Zero, not sending them into the waiting rounds of the Eradicator, who is set up there to do some serious damage and lock down this entire area. TiberianFuture going to be expanding forward, and the Eradicator Hexbot going to be heading on towards the ridge, just going to be able to scare away any sort of hammerheads that show up there. Selling off the War Factory, we do have the Reclamator Hub thrown down. The Marv will be on the way as more hammerheads are added, and Grenadiers possibly being loaded up into the hammerhead. An interesting choice if that's what he decides to do, since the EMP grenades cannot be activated from inside the hammerhead, unless that was an old patch. I know it was at some point that EMP grenades could not be fired from inside of the hammerhead, but I'm all wrong about EMP grenades today. So, oh, one more hammerhead does go down. Fortunately for Green Zero, it wasn't the zone head, but a good snipe there by TiberianFuture, able to just completely eliminate one of those hammerheads, really half of the air power at this point. Whoa, that was actually the Juggernauts firing through. There's the teleporting Hexapod. going to be able to escape on out of there without too much damage done. It wasn't a terrible amount of damage. The Juggernaut's able to fire through the rift there, or the ridge of mountains, not the rift, rather. But Rextractor on the front line for TiberianFuture. Neither one of these players wanting to be super aggressive, although TiberianFuture being a bit more aggressive, going to be going for the EMP. Once again, Green Zero completely whiffs the EMP. Oh, the phase goes down at just the right time. The Annihilator Tripod will escape, albeit barely. No, it does get taken out right there. The other one will escape for sure, but I mean, if it doesn't actually head back to base or at least get some anti-air support, then it won't be alive for much longer after that phase wears off. A couple of hammerheads on the field, but there's so many plasma missile batteries, or I guess shard launchers now, plasma missile shard launcher battery, but sells off one of those refineries. Does want to keep one around just to make sure that he is able to keep that build radius, and if he ever needs to throw down base defenses or say a barracks to go ahead and capture an Annihilator Tripod Husk. Ooh, the Extractor does go down there, and the Corruptors could get focused down as well. There's the blink forward as he does take out one of the Juggernauts, going to be able to simply crush it there, and then blinks back using the Mastermind. A nice bit of micro there to take down the Juggernaut. Ultimately, will it actually be enough to stop the bombardment there of Green Zero? The plasma missile battery will get taken out. However, this Eradicator Hexapod has to be very, very careful, as with the EMP grenades of Green Zero, he could definitely do some huge damage there as a Hammerhead does go down. The Extractor's days are likely limited, but the Eradicator Hexapod going to be moving on forward. The Harvester could get focused down as well. The area mind control on the Grenadiers, but they all get eliminated. And there is the Engineer onto the front line. What is he actually going to be going for? The teleport forward will be able to lock down that Marv. Tremendous amounts of damage being done by that Annihilator Tripod. However, gets locked down by the EMPs. The Juggernaut gets captured, and the blink forward of the Eradicator again smashing down those Juggernauts. The crushing in this game is actually kind of almost unprecedented for what I've seen. Probably not truly unprecedented, but it's just not very often that you actually see an Eradicator Hexapod smashing down Juggernauts and just simply crushing them. Grenadiers so brave, so forward-thinking as they just run forward, not thinking of themselves, only heading into the stray there to try and kill that Prodigy. And there's the blink back of that Eradicator Hexapod going to be able to escape just fine. Green Zero, will he actually decide to take down his own Juggernaut Husk? He does control the Foxhole. Yes, he does take down the Juggernaut Husk. Doesn't want to chance it falling into the wrong hands. However, the Engineer didn't quite get there, and Storm Riders are now out in force, which means the economy for Green Zero. Nice focus firing there by TiberianFuture as he was able to take down that one Harvester that was low on health, full of Tiberium, or nearly, as this Hammerhead will be made short work of. And Green Zero, what does he have in answer to this? He doesn't have an economy in answer, that's for sure. Does he actually have any Harvesters on the map? It is certainly downfill. One single slingshot wasn't enough, even with Tungsten, to take down this many Storm Riders. And oh, this is a very tough fight for Green Zero. TiberianFuture playing this out quite well. His expansion was quite late, and there are certainly things he could have done better, but his follow-up has been solid. There's the blink forward once again. Going to be able to focus down these zone troopers. They may have scanner packs, but then jump jets as well. Not something you see very often, but it won't actually be able to help them to really take down the Eradicator Hexapod. You need more than just a single zone trooper squad. Although Green Zero, you got to hand it to him, keeping his units alive quite well. Going to be setting up a little bit more economy there. Sells off the airfield. There's the EMP heal. He gets it this time, but he doesn't have any damage output. It really is just going to be a zone head. And that is pretty much it. As these Rifleman squads are slowly working down that Eradicator Hexapod, he realizes he can't save the MCV, but maybe he can do something else with that money. Did he get the War Factory? He got the Barracks. No, he got the Crane, an even better choice. That's what he was holding on for, as he sells off the Tech Center. A good choice there, as that's quite a bit of money, and it would have been taken out anyways. Needs to go ahead and sell off these remaining power plants, get as much money as he can. He might still be able to do this, but it would take miracle defense, as TiberianFuture is like, what's this? Do I have 6 tripods sitting in my base that I could have totally smashed this entire expansion with 2 minutes ago, or however long he has had that? He definitely could have smashed that quite a while ago. However, Prodigy and the Eradicator Hexapod moving forward. And Green Zero, he's good, but I don't think he is going to be good enough to hold all of this stuff off with as few units and forces as he does have. Going for that double barracks as there goes that Scrin Buzzer support power, always so powerful at taking out the infantry. And oh, the blink forward with the tripod's going to be able to rush in here and do extra damage, plus the EMPs will likely be brought into play, although it's not even necessary as Green Zero sells off there, and that is going to be it for Green Zero. He has been defeated, drops the third placement match to TiberianFuture, as TiberianFuture does take third place in this tournament. We're going to take a look at the finals after this, but I will be gone for a couple of days. And speaking of Green Zero, if of course you do not know who he is one of the top CNC casters at this moment. Definitely the best Kane's Wrath caster, hands down. But if you have not checked him out, please go do that, because he has an absolutely great series that he's running with right now, and it's tag team, him and Kimosabi, their games from the Kane's Wrath 2v2 tournament. Pretty spectacular stuff. It's first-person view. Of course, if you've seen this, you've probably seen that. But go ahead and check him out. TiberianFuture showing us some really strong play. Didn't even use cultists, I don't think, at all in this last game. Still did a pretty good job against Green Zero. Not perfect, but he did pretty solid overall. And that will do it for this series. Let's take a quick look through these graphs. Overall, TiberianFuture ahead pretty much the entire time. Would have been way further ahead if he would have actually gone for that expansion a couple of minutes earlier. He went for the fast tech and the mechas, but that ended up not being really what won him the game. He was able to do some terrific damage with them, but in the end, it was the constant pressure and just constantly smashing down the economy. Green Zero was never able to get a second base really established until it was too little too late. And at that point, TiberianFuture had pretty much had 3 Tiberium fields to himself. But that will do it for this game. This is Sybert, signing out.